Yeah, what's up, it's your boy Dale? Fresh out of jail. Like I'm from Yale. Hmm. Let's see what we got here, man. Filter. Boom. What's that? Something in my fucking way. That's weird. What the fuck? Why does the green screen not work when I stand in front of it? What the fuck? It works when I'm not in front of it. When I sit in front of it, it doesn't fucking work at all. What the fuck? How did I break that just by standing up? Oh my fucking god, dude. I live a billionaire's life in a broke nigga shell. There you go, it's fixed. I just had to complain. That's childish. That's awfully childish. Holy. Get out of my way, dude. Shit. Look out of my way, dude. Holy. Fuck, the fucking phone's always in my fucking way too, man. Holy shit. Like, I got a fucking big desk and my phone's always in my way when I'm fucking typing. Like, my pinky's always fucking hitting. I got a massive fucking desk. Fuck, man. I need a fucking mansion with fucking acres and acres and acres of fucking property just not to trip over shit. Fuck, man. Need a break from the world's hardest life, man. Shit sucks, man. Deserve a break, man.
From Hollywood, around the exact same time all of his secrets were coming to light, it became harder and harder for fans to see him as just a humble, hardworking actor. This is the double life of Tobey Maguire, known to the world as the greatest Spider-Man ever, but he may have just been a psychopath with a master plan to get filthy rich. Starting with how he claims to be a childhood prodigy destined for greatness, even though it was technically his friendship with Leo that made him a household name. In the 1980s, Tobey Maguire's mom, Wendy, offered him $100 to study acting instead of becoming a chef. Within a year, Maguire loved it so much that he actually dropped out of high school to pursue a career in Hollywood. However, what might be seen as a mom wanting the best for
You blast the heat in his fucking. He's in outside there. Here you go. Here, man. Who the fuck's my? Hmm. Oh yeah, I want to watch Nathan for you. Fuck. I want to watch Nathan for you. Fuck. I don't watch this shit, dude. Fuck.
her son turned out to be an act of desperation. His home life was unstable, and Tobey found himself moving around constantly while finding commercials to help Wendy pay the bills.
I think initially, because I moved around to so many different schools, socially it became really difficult for me to integrate into the school and the social thing with the kids, and I became really. Well, in 6th grade, I remember I went to school in Palm Springs and I got like morning sickness for the first month. Every day I would get nauseous And I realized later it's because I was so nervous about,
meeting new
kids, and then
man.
I left there abruptly
No,
and moved to a couple different schools the following school year.
Only I could go to sleep and wake up and be more tired. Only I, man.
On forming new relationships.
Performing became Toby's entire life. He knew this was his destiny. He said, I'm self-aware enough to understand that it's statistically very hard to achieve the position I'm in. But
it's so weird how it can work the day before and you can touch nothing at fucking all and it just doesn't fucking work the next day. I need a break from the world's hardest life, dude. Like, this is fucking stupid, man. You just spend money, it just doesn't fucking work. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, man.
I also think I have a lot of ingredients that are right for the path that I've chosen. I find the way, like water. I like to be productive. I'm constantly reflecting on personal progress. And since I was around 15, I knew I'd be successful. Since I was 17 or 18, I always knew I wanted to live a great version of my life. And so I got those ideas, and they have been North Stars to me. Toby seems to approach his Hollywood career like a corporate CEO executing a plan. No matter what, he finds a way, which is probably why he wouldn't want to admit this, but Toby's key to success in Hollywood was becoming friends with Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo described how they first met in the 80s. I literally jumped out of the car. I was like, Toby, hey. And he was like, oh yeah, I know you. You're that guy. But I just made him my pal. When I want someone to be my friend, I just make them my friend. Toby didn't realize it at the time, but he just became friends with a future Hollywood legend. But in the beginning, Toby and Leo were always auditioning for the same role. And with a competitor like DiCaprio, Maguire lost almost every time. But since Leo was a good friend, he'd do his best to get Toby a supporting role or a guest spot in whatever he was hired for. The two earliest examples were the TV series Parenthood and 1993's This Boy's Life, where Leo got the main role but managed to get Toby a tertiary role. But even in their personal friend group, Leo outshined Toby with his natural charisma, while Toby was the introvert keeping to himself.
Congratulations on your movie, and I hope you do well in Canada. Thank you.
Hope you do well in Canada. You're probably going to fucking hate it, but it's your problem, not mine.
Okay, and hold on. Okay, and can we get a token black guy in here or something? Oh, yeah, Jake. Ready?
And as the two would continue to grow in fame, they would start to develop a bad boy reputation behind the scenes. Leo and Toby formed an entourage notorious for chasing women and allegedly assaulting innocent people. It became so controversial that they would try to remove any evidence that this ever existed, because if anyone was able to validate these stories, it had the potential to destroy their careers. By 1993, Tobey Maguire got a taste of fame before he even got his first big break, all because his best friend had just starred in What's Eating Gilbert Grape alongside Johnny Depp. While it didn't make much at the box office, the biggest names in Hollywood were now familiar with DiCaprio. Suddenly, Toby found himself doing ride-alongs with Leo where they would go clubbing, hit exclusive restaurants, and experience what it is like to be members of the industry's upper class. The inner circle consisted of Toby, Leo, Lucas Haas, and Kevin Connolly, but it also included aspiring or soon-to-be megastars like David Blaine, Jay Ferguson, Josh Miller, Ethan Suplee, and Scott Bloom. As DiCaprio continued to get more and more famous through movies like The Basketball Diaries, The Quick and the Dead, and Romeo and Juliet, all of the young guys around him elevated in fame just for being his friend. The only person who claimed to hold on to his own identity was Toby. He refused to talk too much about his relationships and made serious efforts to look as polite as he possibly could on camera.
Now, how do you get involved with those creeps?
Bunch of punks.
Are you really good friends with Leonardo
I
DiCaprio?
have been friends with him for years, like 11, 12 years.
Yeah, you're on his level.
But I have even talked to David Blaine about this. He said, hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio, my whole identity got lost. I became Leonardo DiCaprio's friend and part of his posse, and it was very upsetting.
Screw that.
That didn't bother you.
You don't find that bothersome?
I've always been like independent, quiet, and I keep myself separate in terms of like press and all that, and you know, otherwise I'm just his friend. And I understand what David's saying. There's definitely, he gets a lot of attention. You know, the guy's very magnetic. He's like Marlon Brando or something, you know.
And as a result, he started building his own star power, like his roles in The Ice Storm and Deconstructing Harry. Directors and producers picked up on his quiet demeanor, and he started being typecast as a quiet and reserved nerdy guy in larger films. According to Kevin Connolly, Leo was definitely the ringleader, but Toby was also a superstar in the making.
Even like Toby was a guy who was just always right. Not, and they were like, all right, this guy, he was just like, his picture was just on everybody's wall. Like, the right thing is going to come along. He's a guy that his career was inevitable.
The years 1997 and 1998 were the first golden era for Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo's latest film, The Titanic, essentially made him the world's most popular actor for several years. His part as Jack Dawson made him a global symbol. Meanwhile, Tobey had finally made his way into major award-worthy films with a brief but memorable part in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and a starring role in Pleasantville alongside Reese Witherspoon. Neither was an absolute blockbuster like Leo's film, but both became cult classics that fans obsess over. He was also in the process of filming Cider House Rules, a movie that would go on to win 8 Academy Awards and get 30 nominations. Now, for most actors, this would be a dream come true, but Tobey's relationship with Leo was about to threaten his nice guy persona, and according to people who worked closely with him, he was willing to do anything to make sure his true nature remained a mystery. In 1998, New York Magazine published an expose article titled Leo, Prince.
I remember when the fucking RTX series launched, the RTX 2080s, they launched at like $2,000. Oh my god, dude, nobody cared about that at all. It's because these companies can charge whatever they want because fucking PC gamers are fucking sheep. They'll pay anything for a GPU. But you could have fucking sold GPUs for $4,000 easily. What's wrong with the fucking green screen now, dude? Like, what the fuck? I'm so sick of this bullshit, man. Like, I deserve a fucking break, man. Nothing but bullshit for 33 fucking years, man. If I can survive for another fucking 2 years, man, fuck, I don't think so. Fortunately not, man. I can't fork out $1,000 then $8 for that game. Nope. It's fucking a month of rent, bud. Can't afford that, man. Nope. I mean, I'm sure I could play it, but I can't afford to play it. Can't afford a fucking GPU, and I can't afford
Inside
fucking
the City, which was about DiCaprio, Maguire, and the rest of their friend group. The group was infamously named as the Pussy Posse, although actor Kevin Connolly vehemently denies that they gave themselves this name.
You were very famously a member of the Posse.
Yeah, or what channel is this?
Leo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, David Blaine, all these guys. Who got the most in the Posse?
Well, well, listen. First of all, if I could set that straight, you know, That was there was a New York Magazine article.
Who is that guy, dude?
And the writer
He
of the
sounds
magazine
fucking like
coined
somebody.
that.
Got it.
So-
But
guys
it doesn't
didn't
look
coin
like the
yourself.
guy.
With my hand on the Bible, I swear to you, never, ever, ever, in any capacity, have
Yes.
myself or any of our friends
Is it
ever
Survivor
referred
guy or
to
something?
ourselves as the Posse.
Yes.
This guy wrote it, and it stuck.
Now, according to the journalist, Nancy Sales, the P Posse wasn't a name she had come up with herself. It was just something she kept hearing when she would follow closely behind members of the group. In her own words, the group's core members constitute a frat house of young men, some of whom are actually famous, like Leo. There's Lucas Haas, who has not yet become Leo, and Tobey Maguire, the pensive youth in the ice storm, who is perhaps waiting to. She also went on and described Leo's insane star power, where he would get into clubs where Mariah Carey would have to wait in line, along with a growing group of friends in the outer circle who would buy him drinks as soon as he asked for them. Without being able to reach Leo directly, Nancy would have to rely on information from bartenders and waitresses. One of them stated he
followed
does
him
not
closely.
tip, he gets his friends to go to the bar for his drinks. He was in here with Julie Delpy. I could
Does
not
not
understand
tip?
it. She's a very nice
What the
girl.
fuck?
French. He is cheap. In return for their loyalty, Leo would pay his friends back using his fame to improve their careers, like how he appeared on TLC with David Blaine to help him promote his very first TV special.
When you did magic to me, at that party, it was right in front of my face. It was, one-on-one. I couldn't help but be interested again. So why are you now doing a TV special? I mean, I'm curious. How do you think your stuff is going to translate? It's so different than what's been done before.
I don't work with fancy props. There's no beautiful showgirls. There's no elaborate sets. I work with people. It makes the magic spontaneous. It's like everybody's trying to do the next biggest special effect. I mean, it gets bigger and bigger.
However, rumors circulated that the P Posse members were prone to spiraling out of control. One allegation was that Leo would pelt people with grapes and trash before getting his chauffeur to help him escape. Toby and the other guys allegedly set off stink bombs in exclusive bars and clubs and would start fistfights with paparazzi. Now, if this were the actions of 14 and 15-year-old suburban boys, it would probably seem normal. But these guys were famous and approaching their mid-20s, which makes the behavior less excusable. But of course, what gave the P Posse their name was how they allegedly interacted with women and tried to get them into bed by any means necessary. In one instance, they reportedly tried to get DiCaprio with the actress Elizabeth Berkley. A publicist named Karen Tenzer apparently told Berkley at a party, "Jay Ferguson and Leo are going crazy for you, and they want you to come to Elaine's after this, without Roger Wilson," her boyfriend at the time. But when Elizabeth refused, the group allegedly started calling her house. The next morning on my voicemail, says Berkley, there was a message from Jay saying, "Hey baby, Karen gave me your number. We're going out to dinner later. We want you to come." Berkley didn't know that the publicist was basically just a plant trying to coerce her into hanging out with the P Posse. And according to Berkley, the publicist left her 7 different voicemails. She stated that Karen said, "Why didn't you call Jay back? Your presence is requested here." Her tone was very impatient, and I said, "What? Are you trying to deliver me to these guys, Karen?" And she said, "Well, you know." At this point, Berkley was obviously scared and decided to involve her then boyfriend, Roger Wilson. Wilson told New York Magazine that he tried to set them straight without escalating the situation. "I know you guys are having a great time and the town is your apple, but not this part of town. I don't know how this got started, but I'm just asking you to please not call my home again. And Elizabeth has asked please that you not call her again, okay?" According to Wilson, one of the boys from the posse lashed out saying, "We'll call whoever we want, and if you don't effing like it, then why don't you come down here and tell us to our face?" Unfortunately, it did escalate, and it got to the point that the posse allegedly confronted Wilson in front of a hotel, punched him in the throat, and then ran off to avoid ruining their reputations. And even though this was a massive expose on one of Hollywood's newest stars, nobody ever corroborated these stories. There was nothing in Nancy's story that could prove it was true without some kind of physical evidence. However, there was something that came out later that did have some people thinking those allegations might hold some weight, and it came in the form of a short film called Don's Plum, which was so bad that it actually led to a lawsuit where Toby and Leo gave sworn depositions. Don's Plum was filmed in 1995, and it was an extremely weird indie film where Toby and Leo act like extremely cruel young guys to women.
Stop looking at me like that.
Throw a bottle at your face, you goddamn whore.
But what made it interesting was that it was scarily similar to Nancy's claims in the P-Posse expose article. The indie film followed young guys in their 20s who met at a diner to complain about life, flirt with women, then insult those same women, insult each other, and the conversation slowly devolve into awkward power games and emotional manipulation. The cast even reflected the dynamic of the posse in real life. Leo was in the center as Derek, but the character was highly judgmental and insulted people for their sexual orientation or race, also frequently using the F slur. Meanwhile, Toby was in a supporting role as Ian, a shy and reserved guy who would laugh at Leo's jokes while secretly wishing he could shamelessly sleep around and get his 15 minutes of fame.
You want to go do sandwich still?
I want to do sandwich flow.
See? I have a bread.
Your bread. Wheat toast. Lettuce. Shredded up. You know, the usual.
And
Anyway.
you want very well done chicken wings.
Right, not too well done, okay, sweetie?
Okay.
Just
Chicken
a
wings.
little bit crunchy.
Okay.
Just like you.
Crunchy. That's interesting.
Go put that order in, Flo.
Okay.
All right, babe.
I'm
Love
so
ya.
happy you're here.
Go, Flo, go. Out of here. Flo? Send her back to sea, bro. That chicken's fat.
By the end of the night, nothing is resolved. The characters are just left sitting in their own ugliness, stripped of the cool, mysterious image that they think they are projecting. Now, of course, Don's Plum was technically a work of fiction. It was allegedly just an improvising acting exercise, with Leo and Toby never thinking it would ever be released. According to the producer and director, Dale Wheatley, as well as his co-producers, the possible release of Don's Plum made Toby lose his mind. After hearing about the first version of the film that was intended for release, Toby allegedly got his manager involved to try and remove any of the improvised lines that would hurt his image as an up-and-coming actor.
I believe Toby and his manager wanted to view the movie to make sure that Toby's performance was up to par, that it supported that he's a really good actor. I think they had maybe some concerns that he came across a little bit weak on film.
And there must be some truth to this allegation because Toby would end up shooting additional scenes after that dinner table scene to make him look even better. But after the first screening, Maguire did everything he could to shut it down before it went global.
He started suggesting that there was shady business about Don's Plum and that he had a problem with that, and he wanted, and he felt like we were withholding from him and from the others information that they should know about, and that we haven't been on the up and up from the beginning. And Artie was kind of having none of it, you know, and Artie was like, what do you really want? You know, Toby, why are you here? Why are you really here? And the thing started boiling up, probably as the macaroni was boiling up. And finally, Toby loses it. He comes completely undone and he starts screaming, "I want Don's Plum to burn!" And he's screaming and his veins are coming out on his neck. And it was just rage, pure unadulterated rage.
Leo seemingly felt the same way, and he allegedly made the posse turn on the director in a private meeting.
In a way, life was starting to imitate art. Leo was becoming more and more like Derek, the way he acted, the things that he said. He knew that we had been already invited to Sundance. He goes, "This movie isn't gonna be in Sundance. My agents run this town and they run Sundance, and believe me, that movie's not gonna be in Sundance. Your movie's not gonna be anywhere. My agents run this town."
In response, Dale Wheatley's legal team eventually had to get involved to save the film. What followed was a countersuit from Toby and Leo, claiming that Don's Plum was supposed to be a short film and they had been lied to from the very beginning. But when Toby finally got the chance to speak up and give his deposition, he didn't say much, and he always looked as if he was hiding something.
Did you voice any type of objection to Don's Plum being anything more than a short?
I don't recall.
Did you hear anybody else object to that?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not have a fucking stream. I'm gonna just watch the fucking they said for you and Discord. You can't stream it on YouTube. I get caught.
https Discord GG DMVQQTB